All right, welcome again, folks. And today we're going to study an introduction to percent. We'll do some conversion and analysis of what percent really means in daily life. Okay, let's start. So, a very practical application of percent is in school, right? You take quizzes, you take tests, you answer certain questions, and then at the end, the teacher will grade your test. How does the teacher grade your test? For example, all right, so let's write on this. Okay, so at the end, this is the test results. The teacher counted the number of checks and the number of mistakes, right? So suppose your score was 18 out of 20, right? 18 out of 20. And then, you know what? Some students said like this, oh, I have two mistakes, so I take away 100 because if I got a perfect score, I get 100. I take away two, I'm expecting a grade of 98. Oh, teacher, my grade should be 98. Are you sure? All right, it's not like that. You know what the teacher does? The teacher does this. The teacher divides 18 by 20. Okay, so if you get your calculator, 18 divided by 20, you will get 0.9. 0.9. And the teacher makes that a percent. So the teacher moves it two decimal places to the right, and that becomes a 90%. Yes, it's not 98. 18 out of 20 is 90%. So that's how we get your grade. See? Therefore, you need to know what really is the meaning of percent. Let's look at this one. So, important words. Percent means for every 100. They used 100 because it's, easy to visualize. It's very compatible with certain numbers out of 100. Everything is based on 100. It's also called hundredths if you want to think of decimal. And the symbol is that line with a circle on top and a circle below. And what else? A percent could be transformed to a decimal or a fraction. Remember, it's over 100. Actually, the 100 actually becomes like this. That 0 goes on top, that 0 goes below, and that 1 goes over there. It's based on 100. Now, check this out. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 by 10. So 10 by 10, so we are not 10 times 10. We know everything is over 100, right? So easy. And how many are the shaded parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you write 16 parts out of 100. Guess what? It makes our life easier already because the bottom is 100. So what can you say? Look at the top number. The top number, therefore, will be your percent. So I could say that this is what? This is 16%. Easy because the bottom is already 100, right? Now, check this out. I want to know the shaded part for this. So, okay, let's count then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the shaded part is 9. Okay, this is the shaded. Okay, this is let me write it, shaded. 9 out of how many now? So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 over here. 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 times 4 is 20. So we know it's 9 over 20. So can you say that's 9%? Can you say that's 20%? No. Everything should be based on 100. So let's make our life easier now. I want to make the bottom 100. Oh, why did you just change it? It's okay. You call that equivalent fractions. You multiply the bottom by how many 20s will make 100? Oh yeah, what times what? Yes, times 5. So whatever you do below, you do still on top, times 5. So 9 times 5 becomes a 45. Guess what, guys? The bottom is already 100. So what percent is this? This is now, look at the number on top, 45%. See that? So that's the meaning of percent. Everything based on 100. The bottom line, the bottom below the line is 100. Okay, let's move on to the next. All right, so today we're going to convert a percent to a decimal. Now, look at this 15%. We said a while ago that 15 is the number on top, percent means out of 100, right? And we remember that every time you see a fraction bar, that actually means divide. So, 15 divided by 100, let's do the long division. 15 divided by 100, I put a decimal point there, 0. I put the decimal point up. How many 100s can I get? 1. Therefore, 100. Bring down 5. Bring down 0. Bring down another 0. I get 0.15. Now, check this out. So, from 15 whole number, all right, if the decimal point is here, now it became a 0.15. What happened to the decimal point? The decimal point traveled here, 1 to the left, 1 to the left. So 2 places to the left. So from here, our answer will now be 0.15. And there you go, the answer is 0.15. And we learned that from Beyonce. What is the song Beyonce again? Tell it to us. Sing it to us. To the left, to the left. Remember that song, to the left, to the left. So let's follow what Beyonce is saying. Let's do that. Whole number over here, therefore to the left, to the left. Decimal point goes there. So our answer will be 0.95. Now, people would sometimes write, if there is no whole number, they put a 0 there, meaning it is less than 1. Okay, so let's do that again. The song of Beyonce, sing it with me. To the left, to the left. So it goes there, decimal point. Oh, if there's a space, what do, Ram? Put a 0 over there. So the answer would be what? 0.03. Again, there's no whole number, put a 0 there. Okay, next. The decimal point is coming from here again, coming from the end. If it's a whole number, to the left, but it stays here. The decimal point stays there. So that becomes what? 1.50. All right, so these are now the decimal equivalents of the percent. Remember that. To the left, to the left. No, here. To the left, to the left. All right. The opposite now is changing the decimal back to percent. Okay, so for example, you have 0.35. If I got a grade of 0.35, what is that in percent? So the opposite of dividing is now multiplying. Check this out. If I multiply 0.35 times 100, okay, what do? You usually put the two zeros there, and then 1 times 35 is 35. Then there are two decimal places. The decimal point will be here. Check this out. From here, the decimal point is now there. What did we do? What have you observed? If move to the right and another place to the right, it went there. So check it out. The decimal point is now there. So two places to the right, or we could sing our song. Cupid will sing this song for us. You know this song? That's from the Cupid shuffle, right? To the right, to the right. Therefore, if you see you got a grade of 0.75, 0.75 simply means to the right, you stay there. So that becomes a what? That becomes a 75 point. What is a 75 point? That means a whole number, 75, and then don't forget to put the percent sign. So you got a 75%. So your teacher computed your grade, you got a 0.09. What is 0.09? To the right, to the right. Okay, decimal point stays there. So what is 9 point? 9 point actually means a whole number, right? You got a 9%. All right. Now, your classmate had a grade of 1.7. Oh, can you change that to percent? Yes. To the right, to the right. Oh, there's a space. What will I do with the space? Add a 0. All right, so that becomes what? That becomes 170 point. You're multiplying by 100, remember. To the right means you're multiplying by 100. So the answer there is 170%. Okay, so don't forget, to the right, to the right. That means what? Times 100. Okay, that's decimal to percent. Now let's talk about fractions. Okay, so it's not just decimal. a percent could also disguise as a fraction. So it's easy because we learned the meaning of percent means hundreds. 15 goes on top, and then over that symbol means over 100. Guess what? You done. It's already a fraction, right? 15 over 100. But, teachers will always say, reduce your fractions to the lowest terms. All right, let's reduce it. So what can I divide 15 and 100 by? I could divide it by a bigger number, divide by 5, divide by 5. So what do I get? 15 divided by 5 is a 3. 100 divided by 5 is a 20. Can I further divide it? No more. So that's your fraction. All right, so what was the rule? The rule is simply over 100, then simplify it. All right, over 100, then simplify. Say it again. Over 100, then simplify. Over 100, then simplify. Over 100, then simplify. Okay, so easy. Let's try the following. Come on. So 85% means 85 over 100, then simplify. Let's do the simplifier later because I like the over 100. 4% means 4 over 100, then we'll simplify. 120 means 120 over 100, then we simplify. Okay, now let's do the simplification now. What can I divide 85 and 100 by? I could divide by 5. Divide by 5. Come on, mentally or with a calculator. What is 85 divided by 5 is 17. 100 divided by 5 is 20. Can I further divide? No. So that's it. Okay, next. 4. What can I divide 4 and 100 with? Yes, I could divide by 2. Higher than 2. I could divide by? Yes, divide by 4 on top. Divide by 4 below. Lowest terms would be what? 1 over 25. Okay, what can I divide 120 and 100 with? Check this out. If there are zeros, cancel that 0 on top, cancel that 0 below. Oh, cool. Now, we're left with 12 over 10. What can I divide 12 over 10 with? Divide by 2, Ram. Okay, divide by 2. That becomes 6 over 5. But that's an improper fraction, right? How many fives can I get in 6? I could get 1 whole, right? And how many remainder? A remainder of 1. Make that a fraction over 5. So 1 and 1/5. Guess what, guys? We were able to convert the percent now to a fraction, right? Over 100, then you simplify. Okay, let's move on to the next. Now let's do the opposite, right? Fraction to percent. Okay, so guess what? Here, for this one, our problem is the denominator is not 100, right? Because everything would be easier if the denominator is 100. So let's make it 100. There you go. I made it 100. But you cannot just change the bottom, the denominator. Look for the pattern. What did you do? 20 times, oh yes, times 5, all right? If you did times 5 below, what will you do on top? Do the same thing so that it maintains its being the same. It's still equivalent. 3 times 5 is 15. So now you have 15 over 100. Therefore, the whole number would be 15. That 100 will change, transform into a percent sign. Yay! Okay, that's one way. Over 100, and then solve for the n on top. Okay, let's do that again. 25, I don't want you 25. I want you to become 100. So what pattern did we do? 25 times 4 below. Okay, times 4 below. Do the same thing on top. 21 times 4 would be, mental math, come on, do it. That's 84. Guess what? It's already over 100. Therefore, that number on top is the whole number, and that number 100 becomes the percent symbol, 84%. Now, this is our problem. Guess what? Some kids are stuck here. They cannot think of a pattern to make it 100. How can 8 be 100, right? It cannot be the same. Times 5, no. Times 6, no. Times 8, times 10 is 80. Times 11 is 88. It cannot be exactly 100. So if you cannot do this, I'll give you a different way. Remember, 3 over 8 means what? That line means divide. Divide. So that means 3 over 8. Okay? Here at this part, you can use a calculator. All right? Suppose you don't have a calculator, put a decimal point 0, put it up. How many 8s can I get? I could get how many? I could get 3. 3 times 8 is 24. Subtract, I get a 6. Bring down another 0, 0, 3. How many 8s can I get in 60? I could get 7. So that's going to be a 56. If you subtract that, that's going to be a 4. All right, bring down another 0 going there. All right, how many 8s can I get in 45? 5 times 8 is 40. Now it's exact. As I said, you can use a calculator at this point. So after dividing, you get a weird answer, which is a decimal. But Ram, I don't need a decimal. I want a percent. So remember your rule to change decimal to percent. Okay, the song of Cupid, to the right, to the right. There you go. So the answer will be 37.5%. 37.5%. Okay, got it? Okay, so remember, n over 100 equals n over 100, or simply just divide it and then do your to the right, to the right. Okay. All right. Two options. All right. Practice time. Now, this one's easy. Check this out. The diagram below represents which percent? Of course, they want the blue, the shaded part. All right. You want to know the shaded part. The shaded part in percent. Okay, you can count individually, but I could count 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All of this is 3 by 10, 3 by 10. So that's 30 plus 2 extra. I could say that's 32 over a total of 100. Okay? Oh, thank you, thank you. I love you when you're 100 below. Because that means the percent will be what? The numerator, 32, and that 100 becomes your percent sign. 32%. That's easy, right? Next. Okay, now, this is another strategy. Check this out. Samantha spends 40 minutes for homework. Wow. 60% of that time was spent in language arts. Now check out this chart. Okay, so that 40 minutes was divided into 10. Let me split 40 divided by 10, and that means 4 minutes. All right, so the total of this is what? 40 minutes. And the total of the percent, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, is equal to 100%. So if I studied the whole time, that's 40 minutes, right? Now, check this out. Since everything was split into 10, so each of this part, that 40 minutes, let me spread out the portion divided by 10, 4 minutes for each of you. So that 100 divided by 10 is 10% for each of you. So a small part is 10%, and that small part, 10%, is actually 4 minutes. Okay? That a 10% is 40 minutes. What is being asked? What if Samantha studied for how many percent? It says 60%. So I get this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 6 small parts, right? All of this will represent 60%. And check out, how many minutes would that be? 4 times how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus that one, of course, 6. 4 times 6 is 24. So what's your answer? Samantha studied for 24 minutes. Okay, got it? Next. Now we're going to solve a similar problem, okay, using a diagram once again. Check this out. In an election, Mr. Jones received 70% of the 1,500 votes cast. How many votes did Mr. Jones receive? So again, there's a bar. Every time you make a bar, split it. The best way to split it is into 10. Okay, so they did the splitting for you already. So divide by 10. So to get that, all of those 10s adds up to 100%. Okay, but let's also split the 1,500. 1,500 divided by 10, I could get 150. So each little part gets 150. All right? So each little part gets 150. 150, 150, 150, 150. Because if you add that 150s or you multiply it by 10, what do you get? The total of this will now be 1,500, which is the same as 100%, right? Okay, now, guess what? The question is asking you if he got a vote of 70%. So, how many 10% do you need to get 70%? Okay, so let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the votes that he got. 7 of the 10%. So how do we solve that? So 7 times what? 150 times 7. I'll make a shortcut. You can use your calculator. Is 1050. All right? And that's the answer. All right. Good job. So again, remember that. Split by 10 first. Okay? Next. Another one is a student made a table of to find 40% of 130. Check this out. Now, at this method, okay, you did not want to divide into 10 because that's too much. You divide it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each part represents 20%. 20%. 20% for you, 20% for you, 20% for you. Now, since the total is 130, 130, I divide it into, not into 10, into 5. I divide it into 5, so I get a 2, 10, 3, 0, and I get a 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Okay? A small part is actually what? A small part at that 20% is 26. 26 for you, 26 for you, 26 for you, 26 for you. Okay, if you add all those 26, you will get what? 130. If you add all of those 20%, you will get what? 100%. Okay, look at that. I'm doing the same thing on top. The same thing, right? Now, what did they do on top? They changed the percent to a decimal. It's okay. They did to the left, to the left. Look at this. To the left becomes zero point 0.2. We don't need that though. We just need to get what? 40%. So where is the 40%? That's a 20 and another 20. So what will you do with the 226? 26 times 2 is a 52. All right, so that's the answer. 26 times 2. Now we save the easiest one for you at the end. Okay, now they want to convert 3.25, the decimal point is there, into a decimal. Oh, Ram, it's already a decimal. No, it's not a decimal. It has a decimal, but it is a what? It is a percent. Oh, yeah. Percent to decimal. That's Beyonce's song. Beyonce. So what do you do? 3.25. Sing the song. I want to hear it. To the Sing it. Say it. To the to the All right. So what's our answer? Find it? Did you find it? Yes, the first one is the answer. Okay. All right. So we got it. Good job, guys. Good luck in your next activity.